I'm a huge cinephile. I love watching TV shows. Watch Breaking Bad, The Office, Friends, blah blah blah, Dexter, and all that shit. But you know, obviously, when we want to talk about the endings, the worst ending definitely has to be Game of Thrones, without a doubt, 100%. Like fuck D&D, they can go kill themselves. There's just so much wrong with this shit. First of all, there's the huge twist where Jon Snow is revealed to be a Targaryen, and he's revealed to be the true heir to the Iron Throne. But eventually, that just gets scrapped and thrown away. That's like one of the biggest twists in cinema history. Like D&D, they just fuck with it and just scrap it all together and throw it in the trash and shoot it, and it just goes to waste. And then I'm actually not a I'm actually not against the part where he kills Daenerys and stuff, but like then what the Unsullied demand him to be like executed, demand him to be punished, and then like Bran listens to him, and like what the fuck, like why'd they decide to make Bran the whole king or whatever? Why the hell would you do that? Like I know he's a like a big role like with a one-eyed raven, something like that. I can't remember it all right now, but I mean like why? He was like the least fitting guy to do that. And like there were so many characters who should have been killed off, and so many characters who just had a bad ending, like Jamie, like Jamie Lannister. He had one of the greatest redemption arcs, but like at the end he's just like fuck it, I'm gonna go die with Cersei, and like they both die from debris. That's just stupid. The whole the king's dog, what was his name, Sir Gregor Clegane, that was stupid. How he just heated himself and his brother into the fire. That was a terrible ending. Why the hell did Arya and Sir Gregor Clegane decide to go to King's Landing? Like that was just a stupid decision. Why the hell would you do that? It's like walking into Palestine right now. Like why would I want to do that? Unless I want to become a fucking martyr for no reason. Like that's just stupid. And like the whole part that Bran decided to become uh, you know they decided that Bran should be the leader or king, whatever, the ruler. That's just bullshit. And I'm just so mad. Whenever someone like says like Game of Thrones ending was good, I try to not assault them, because then I'm gonna land myself in jail, and that would be really bad. So yeah, without a doubt, Game of Thrones is the worst ending of all time. Personally, I love Game of Thrones. It's probably one of the greatest, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Let's be honest, season 7 and 8 were trash. Season 1 to 6 were absolute cinema, absolute cinema. But let's be honest, 7 and 8 were absolute garbage. They were way too fast. They were just way too speedy. Skipped lots of important things. The Battle of the Night, what was it called? Those episodes that were just terrible. The plot armor with Arya was terrible. They botched every character, and like the whole, what was it? Uh, Everything was just great, awful. The whole Greyjoy thing, that was just awful. With his uncle, everything was awful about it. I fucking hated everything about it. And like the Unsullied, how Bran just listens to the Unsullied, and after all that stuff, we get revealed that the biggest twist, probably one of the biggest twists, or even some might call it the biggest twist in cinema history, that Jon Snow is revealed to be actually the heir of the Iron Throne, and he's a Targaryen, but then he just gets sent to the Night's Watch, which is just the stupidest decision of all time. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment, and subscribe so I can afford a haircut.